for just for being great people and helping us along our journey as content creators, and in navigating YouTube and checking out the type of content we've been checking out. And y'all have been sending me specifically, you've been sending me a lot of articles and videos that where I can learn from. And some of them are far right leaning, but some of them are very neutral, right down the middle. And I appreciate that because it allows me to get more information that I wouldn't have had any reach from, because you guys' algorithm is a little different than mine. All right. Since I'm just now figuring this bad boy out. But as you guys enter, just go ahead and hit that like button. That would be absolutely phenomenal. That's the only price of admission for my live streams, just to hit that like button. And also, if you're feeling extremely generous, feel free to go to the share button that's below this video and share the link either on your Twitter space, either X or Facebook. I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and get up in this place before we start getting to it, because I do know a lot of you are enjoying your Sunday. A lot of you are probably in church right now, praising the Lord Jesus for all he has done for you, because he protected you and your family under that roof that he blessed you with. He blessed you with water, hot and cold. Hot water when you get inside that shower and you got that soap and you're just washing up and you're feeling all good and whatnot. I know y'all went to church to give God praise for that. What's going on, Lisa Marie? How are you doing? What's up, Jay Tyrus? How are you doing? What is considered far right? I only hear Democrats use that term. You know what? And I just realized something. I might still be a Democrat that's for Trump and that's conservative. I might be a conservative Democrat, because think about it. And I'm glad you pointed that out. Far right is a term that's used by Democrats all the time. And far right is considered individuals who are, it's considered information that only supports conservative narrative. That's it. That's it. It don't support liberal. It's just conservative. That's it, and that's all. I have no understanding, nor do I want any understanding of the way the liberals are doing things or the way the Democrats are doing things, or I'm not going to give in. I don't want to even have a conversation about it. This is what it is. It's constitutional, it's biblical, it's spiritual, and what you're doing is wrong. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to hear about your ideas that's going to bring me further away from the Constitution or the Bible. And you know what I mean? That's what's considered far right, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, take it up with the people who made all the rules for far right and far left and all that other stuff. But sometimes when people wake up, man, these terms mean nothing to me, to be honest with you. And I do realize that there are talking points out there and there are narratives out there and there's propaganda out there. I'm here to share none of that. I don't want to share any one-sided propaganda. I do realize my own ideologies have changed a little bit. And that's the type of content that I will be sharing with you, and that's the type of conversations I will be having. What's up, everybody? Doug Phelps. Democrats feel no need to be honest about anything a Republican says. I want the Black people to tell me one good thing that the government has done for them in the last 10 years. Your mama. Why is your name your mama, man? It's so hilarious. That's hilarious, man. What has the government done for you lately in the last 10 years? The government has given y'all jobs. So don't try to act like the government have not given you no jobs, whether you're Black, white, or other. The government has given you jobs. The government has bailed you out with their programs. The government has pushed you to the front of the line because they feel like this is the only way we can level things out. Now, if that's good or bad, that's up for debate. It's depending on where you lean in politics. You know what I mean? I try to mind my business when it comes to that. But what's going on, guys? Jeff Poor, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Jesus is king. I believe that too, but guess what? When you say that nowadays, because of everything that's going on in these other countries, Israel, Gaza, Palestine, all this other stuff, saying Jesus is king could potentially come off as a trigger to people who who are, freedom of religion. You say Jesus is king, but this happened to my people and this right. Nah, I don't even want to get into all that, because apparently a certain group of individuals, a powerful group of individuals, will get offended by you saying Jesus is king. And guess what? I don't mind offending people. I really don't, because I do know that I operate off of good intent. I don't want to piss you off. Here's my thing. When I have a conversation with you, two things. I don't want to excite you with happiness. That's not what I want to do. I can care less if you're excited after our conversation, and I don't want to piss you off. That's not my, I don't want to piss you off. I don't want to upset you. What I do want to have is a real conversation that will lead to something, positive, lead to something progressive, something with us moving forward. You know what I mean? That's where I am. I can care less about you being all super excited and wanting to be my friend after the conversation. And I can care less about you being super pissed off about something I said, because none of that is my business. All right. None of that is my business. Let's go and get it to the task at hand. Much love to you all. Lisa Marie, the wedding was phenomenal. I want to say congratulations to Tony and Tanya. It was an absolutely phenomenal wedding. It was dope, man. It was great. It was great. The food was good. The vibe was good. The location, the amount of people that was there, it was amazing. My table was fun. I'm sitting right next to my father-in-law and my mother-in-law. And to the right, I got my cousins and everybody. My wife is at the table with her cousins. We actually sit across from each other so she can be closer to her cousin Corell and her cousin Kim and her cousin Daphne. I had my nieces and nephews, and it was pretty cool, man. It was a vibe. I really enjoyed myself, man. I really enjoyed myself. What'd you say, Jeff? Did Jeff say I will leave? Why will you leave? Look to see who gets angry by simply telling the truth. Yeah, let's see what happens here. All right, so we already know that Byron Donalds has been attacked for saying what he said about Jim Crow. Now, I'm going to play what he said first, but I have a couple of videos pulled up of this, and one is where Jeffries, what's his name? Hakeem Jeffries went in. He went in on Byron Donalds. He went in on Byron Donalds, bro. Joy Reid has been going in on Byron Donalds. What's his name? Roland Martin has been going in on Byron Donalds. Abby from CNN has been going in on everybody. The Black African diaspora has been going in on Byron Donalds. Everyone feel like it was insensitive. It was immature. It was just a ridiculous statement for him to make, to try to draw anything positive from that time period and compare it to today. But they completely missed his message, just like we always do. We miss one another's messages. But we're going to watch some conversation of them where you can see for yourself exactly. So I got first up to bat, and I know y'all probably already seen it from the thumbnail, but we got my man, Al Sharpton. I used to be a huge fan of Al Sharpton, by the way. Listen, I told y'all, man, lifelong Democrat, 46 years old. I did nothing but vote down party lines for a long time. That started to change in my mid-30s when I, switched it up a little bit, late 30s when I switched it up, and I actually registered as Republican, as a Trojan horse, so I can sneak attack the Republicans. On my ID, it shows Republican. I get up in there and then I vote Democrat, blow their mind, right? And help people win. But it didn't particularly work that way. All right, let's check this out, y'all. Let me know whatever y'all want me to know. Let's get to it. And don't get all butthurt about anything that's said today, or I will fuss at you.
Congressman, welcome to the show. You just heard what Congressman Vesey had to say about your comments. You've also been criticized by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and the head of the DNC, Jamie Harrison, both of them black. One of them black from Brooklyn, like you were born in Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn. What's your response?
My response is that it's very interesting how people can just lie and mischaracterize what I said. The video's on my social media. Go to @ByronDonald. You could listen to it in full. I never said or insinuated anything about Jim Crow being better. Just was talking about the marriage rates of Black families in America during that time period.
Best auntie ever. You know I love y'all over there. Don't play with me. My Twitter people are my people right there. I go live on Twitter. I mean on Twitch. I go live on Twitch more than I do on YouTube, man. And it'd only be like 11, 12 people over there playing.
It's an empirical fact.
You mentioned Jim Crow. Wait a minute. I've watched your video. You mentioned Jim Crow 4 times. One time you referred to families. All families did less. They had higher divorce rates in the 60s and 70s as the nation opened up. This wasn't because of Jim Crow kept blacks scared. Blacks couldn't vote. Those families couldn't go downtown. I mean, to in any way infer that the families, Black families, were better than Jim Crow. I mean, I've said things that I've later said I shouldn't have said it that way.
I've never said that.
Can't you own that even sanitizing Jim Crow, even if that wasn't your intention, was to say, that's my intention, I'm sorry for using those words?
Well, first of all, I never sanitized Jim Crow. I was just talking about the era in which Black marriage rates were higher than they were during the Great Society and every other point in American history.
But why did you say Jim Crow?
Because that's the period of time, Reverend.
The period of time was the 50s, if you wanted to say the 50s.
That's when it happened.
You said Jim Crow.
That's when it happened. Because that was the era in which marriage rates were higher. Look, you had Joe Biden a couple years ago talking about Jim Crow 2.0, talking about Georgia's law, and he lied. He lied then. So are we not allowed to talk about that era, or only are we allowed to talk about it when we do want to recall all the history of Jim Crow and all the tragedies that occurred during Jim Crow?
If we're going to talk about the era.
Yo, they did not wait a minute to get into an argument back and forth. Boom, 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 boom. This is what I want to see. This is 2 grown men having a conversation. I hope it leads to something. Because right now, all Al Sharpton wants to know is, why did you say Jim Crow, bruh? Out of everything, why did you say Jim Crow? That's like saying that Black people stuck together far more back in slavery. I mean, we had on chains, and that's why we were sticking together, but we stuck together. That's where Al Sharpton is coming from. But Byron Donalds is saying, yo, you took everything I said out of context. I can use whatever point of reference that I want to use. I knew where I was going with this. I was trying to make a statement. You all missed it because you got so locked into the Jim Crow reference that you want to run with that, making it seem like I'm trying to tell people that Jim Crow was this great time where everybody was holding hands and skipping through lilies and blowing bubbles and eating cotton candy. That's not what he's saying at all.
Congressman, and you name a race-based law, then you cannot take race out of the fact Jim Crow was a law against Black people. You weren't just talking about the era of Dwight Eisenhower and Harry Truman. You named Jim Crow. There's only one way you could deal with Jim Crow, and that's by race. I mean, look, you and I have mutual friends. People say you're a straight shooter. Yes. We may disagree on politics. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. But look, you were born in Brooklyn. You went down into the South, went to Florida State. You have an interracial marriage. You're the congressman of a district that's not a Black district. I mean, how can you even live with yourself acting like Jim Crow was a good era or better era for Blacks? What happened to you?
Okay, that's real cute.
He did not say that Jim Crow was a better era for Blacks. He did not say that, but he's saying you inferred it. Now, when you listen to this conversation, please do me a favor. And I do realize a lot of people who are listening to this and watching this right now with me are not, because how the algorithm works. The only reason why you clicked on my videos is because you've seen a bunch of my videos. And the only reason why you've seen a bunch of my videos is because you've clicked 1 or 2 before, and now more of my videos are being showed to you. That's called the algorithm. Now, because of that, I assume you have not watched many Al Sharpton videos where you appreciated what was coming from his point of view because of where he stands. So as you watch this live stream, just do me one favor. Try to be objective. Try to hear both sides. We do realize what's happening. I understand. We do realize what's happening. But try to hear both sides, because we have to understand that one person has been embedded embedded in one side, which is the left. And that's all they know. They've been speaking about this all their lives. And he's past 70 right now. So you got to understand, he's not going to change his stripes from one conversation. He is in a circle of people, a community of people that only talk about things from this way, this side, the left side. So Al Sharpton is coming from that position. So when Al Sharpton is speaking, he's not only speaking for himself, he's speaking for a great number of individuals who are on the left, his friends, his associates, all of those people. So he's not budging. He knows where his talking point is. He knows what he's trying to get across to Byron Donalds. And he really believe, if you look in his eyes, you can tell he actually believed that he's helping Byron Donalds out by saying, yo, young brother, what you said was irresponsible, and you just need to admit that, because there's nothing positive about what you're saying. That's what he's trying to say. But Byron Donalds is like, but what you're doing is, OG, what you're doing is, respectfully, you're missing my point, because I was making, and I only pointed out that time period because I was making a bigger point, something that Black America need to take hold to. But because they gravitated toward the negative part and they only grabbed that Jim Crow part, they missed the entire point. And he is making a great point, because we have moved further and further and further away from the ways of God, which is marriage and family and values and integrity and character, and the list goes on and on and on. But I'm just letting you know, Al Sharpton is coming from a real place. Might not be the place that you're from, but he's coming from real. That's the only reason why I'm checking this conversation out. Y'all already know where I rock. I'm on Byron Donalds' side, because I think the young guy, he mean well. He knows what he was doing. Should he have said Jim Crow? You know what? Hindsight is 2020, based off of how everybody's responding to him saying the Jim Crow and referencing the Jim Crow era. He probably shouldn't have said it. He should have just said, you know what, back in the 40s, you know what I mean, back in the 50s and 40s, the 30s and the 40s and 50s and 60s, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. All right.
That's real cute. I did not say that. And I'm not going to sit here and have to insinuate that against me, because right now you're lying about what I said. I did say Jim Crow. I did reference it 3 times. That's not to say that it was better. I never said that. Those words never came out of my mouth. When are you going to get that through your skull and everybody else's skull? I never said that. And the difference between me. Let's go,
Byron. He said, when are you going to get that through your skull and everybody else's skull? You're not talking to no punk, Al Sharpton. You're not talking to no punk, bruh. You're talking to a young man who is very intelligent. He's very poised. He's chill. He's relaxed. He's calm. And you see when he said, when you're going to get that through your thick skull, look, Al Sharpton looked away like, whoa, is he? Whoa, it's getting real. Hold on, what? Hold on, what? You talking to me like that? I'm Al Sharpton. I'm the OG of Black politicians, bruh. I've been doing this since I was 20. I've been doing this for 60 years. You know, I slapped Jesse Jackson. I used to slap box Jesse Jackson in the parking lot of the White House back in the day. And you gonna talk to me like that? When Martin Luther King was walking down the street and he punched Eddie Murphy in the stomach, I was with him. So this dude is an OG, man, and he feels highly disrespected that Byron Donalds won't sit there and take this whooping, is what he want him to do. Take this lashing, bro. I know what I'm talking about. Shut up. But Byron Donalds ain't gonna fold, man. He's just not.
When are you going to get that through your skull and everybody else's skull? I never said that. And the difference between me and a lot of other Republicans, I'm not going to sit here.
You said it was better for us.
I'm not going to let you
under Jim Crow to bring families together. Did you say that?
Hakeem Jeffries was lying. The Biden campaign was lying.
Right.
Go look at my words.
Well,
go look at my words.
Right. People can look at your words. Did I say Jim Crow was
better? No, I did not.
You said
I did not say Jim Crow was better. I never said it was good. I did not have nostalgia. I never said any of those things. I was talking about Black families and Black family marriage rates during that time. And the.
All right, then what did Jim Crow do to contribute to Black families? Hello?
I'm not talking. Oh my gosh!
You said under Jim Crow, Black families. So explain to me what Jim Crow did to help Black families.
The marriage rates during the Jim Crow era were higher for Black families
because
up until the point of the Great.
He didn't say because of Jim Crow, bruh. He did not say that Jim Crow helped Black families. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. And I do see 22% of you said on the poll that I posted inside of that, it says, did Byron Donald suggest that Black people were better off during Jim Crow? And 22% of you, 23% of you said yes. 77% of no's, now 78. 78% of you said no, and 22% of you said yes. Thank you so much for answering the poll. I appreciate it. He did not say that, bro. They're mixing up with the Jim Crow do for Black families. He didn't say that it did anything for Black families. Can we just listen? Okay, let's go.
Society. I did not say that. I said they were. And this is the problem, because you're trying to say that I said because of Jim Crow marriages were at a higher rate. I did not say that. I said during. I said during.
But why
I guess
did
we
you
can't refer to
use
time
Jim Crow?
periods
Jim
there,
Crow
Reverend.
was
That
a
don't make
race
no
law.
sense.
Well, first of all, under Great Society did programs like manpower training, model cities, train young people. HEW didn't do anything about families. It's health, education, welfare. So, I mean, what are you talking about? They were not the antithesis to marriage. I mean, Congressman, all right, let's go to this. Donald Trump suggested twice just this week that he might seek retribution against political enemies of if he's elected president. He also tried to link his legal problems to the injustices African Americans have suffered at the hand of our legal system. Why should Black Americans believe that Trump is serious about criminal justice reform when he only seems concerned about it when it applied to him? You know the record. You're from Brooklyn, what he did around the Central Park case. You know the record that he was president when George Floyd was killed by police. He said nothing, had protesters move from front of a church, made a speech denouncing the protesters. He has no problem talking about locking up his political opponents or homeless or asylum seekers, but he now wants to act like he's a victim of something. What is your response to that, Congressman?
Well, first of all, during the Trump presidency, he also signed into law reforms to criminal justice reform, the First Step Back, which actually helped get a lot of people released who were imprisoned under the '94 crime bill that was authored by Joe Biden. One of the worst pieces of crime legislation that's really impacted a lot of people in the Black community.
You and I agree on the '94 crime bill. I marched on it, and Joe Biden has said that it went too far. But Donald Trump has not dealt with his own record of discrimination. If you're talking about the two candidates, Donald Trump, unlike Biden, who talked about how the crime bill did go too far, Donald Trump has not dealt with his discrimination, that he was sued by the Justice Department in housing, what he did with Central Park 5, what he's done in various race cases, and explained as president what he did with George Floyd. You were in Congress.
What did he do with George Floyd? He didn't do anything with George Floyd. What are you talking about?
That's exactly right.
What did he do against it? He did not do anything. The only thing he said is that riots in America do need to stop. Well, first of all, let's talk about that legislation.
Okay. All right. So this conversation would be much better if I was, because here's the thing. I'm just letting y'all know this. This is how I am. I spent a lot of time doing ministry in church. And when it comes to my elders, especially Black elders, I'm telling y'all, man, I'm blue no matter who, Black no matter what, for a long time. All right? For a long time. Because proximity, things, conversations, everything. I have a certain level of respect and understanding for Al Sharpton, and that's because I don't see a lot of the stuff that y'all have seen that he has put out. But I will say this. If he speak to Byron Donalds, speak to him rather than yell at him and try to get him to believe everything that he's saying. He's getting into a debate about politics with Byron Donalds. He's about to get his ass whooped. He really is. He really is. He already is, technically, because he hasn't been listening. They haven't been able to fix the first half of their conversation that was dealing with Jim Crow, because Al Sharpton just was not listening at all. Just like a lot of the other channels, a lot of the other media platforms have not really been listening. They're locked into Jim Crow. Why Jim Crow? Why say Jim Crow? A lot more can come from this conversation if he listens, especially since this is his show. Ask a question, shut up, let the young man answer. Then when he answers, then you can interject with your points. You don't always have to speak over him, and accept his answers. Because when it comes to George Floyd, and he's saying that that Trump didn't do anything. Trump wasn't supposed to do anything. The people that should have done something were the black leaders who were standing by George Floyd no matter what, because that was extremely dishonest. That was extremely irresponsible, because you did not hold that man accountable, making other people believe that you don't have to listen to police. You can do whatever you want to do. And if you die in the hands of the police, then it's not your fault, even though everything leading up to that was your fault. You're not holding him accountable at all. You're throwing parties for this brother. You getting statues for this brother. You doing all this stuff. And rest his soul. God rest George Floyd and anybody else who fell at the hands of the police, who fall at the hands of anybody unjustly. I want. There's not going to be peace for everybody. It's not. That's just not real life. But at some point, we need to hold these people accountable. We do. And the fact that Joe Biden walked it back and said, man, that crime bill that I fought for, I think we went too far. I think too many black people got locked up. Too many people, not even black people, it was poor people. Too many poor people got locked up. Because it wasn't only black people that got locked up from that, it was poor people. But a lot of black people that we know of got locked up from that. And now he walks it back and, he get a pass now. Because remember, I marched on Washington when he was doing that. That's what he says. But it's more to that. Okay, anyway.
Riots in America do need to stop. Well, first of all, let's talk about that legislation.
Floyd
because there were actually
policing bill that
there were two bills that were going through Congress at the time. The bill that could have went through and passed was the one by Senator Tim Scott. And the only difference between that bill and the bill that was being moved by my Democrat colleagues is because my Democrat colleagues wanted to get rid of qualified immunity. Right. That was the only difference in the bill. Local law enforcement universally said, if you get rid of qualified immunity, you're going to have less officers on the streets. And so the Democrats did not want that bill to go forward. I believe Nancy Pelosi was speaker at the time. And that's why that bill could not get through the House.
That's did not vote for the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. And did you vote for it, you in Congress?
I wasn't in Congress at the time when that occurred, but I will tell you that the reason I was not in Congress, I got in 2020.
Did you support
because that bill would have gotten rid of qualified immunity. And getting rid of qualified immunity would have meant less officers on the street, which is bad for public safety.
So the only way you would have supported a bill to hold police accountable is if police would not be individually accountable? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because if you most police officers make $60,000 to $70,000 a year. If they are not individually liable in civil court, how many people are going to sign up to be police officers? With all the millions of encounters they go through every single year, people aren't going to do that.
That's the thing right there. Maybe if they don't put knees on people's necks. Maybe if they don't put knees on people's necks. Because that's what we go to. That's our go-to right there. That's our go-to. And I don't get it. Because as soon as something happens and we are the victims, we're calling the police. And we want them to come out and serve and protect. And if somebody do something to us or commit a heinous crime against us and our families, we want the police to do them dirty. Like sneak a elbow in there, sneak a knee in there or something. But when it comes to this, oh man, all black people got to stick together. The police, they don't care about black people. They're racist. They don't like us no more. Well, they say that the police was all started as a way to chase slaves and bring them back to the homes. And they believe that police are still slave chasers, and the black people who believe that they still mentally have the way of thinking of a slave. They still have them slave minds. They still look at police that same way and say, we're the victim. What you doing? What we doing? What you do? I just now seen a video of this young black guy. He went and shot a 9-year-old kid. He shot a mom. He killed a man. And then when the police caught him, and it's all on video, it's one of them police cam type of videos. When the police caught him, all he did for the entire time that they was trying to arrest him is yell, "They're killing me, they're killing me, they're killing me. They're choking me. I can't breathe. I can't breathe." These criminals are making a mockery out of these failed movements that we are making behind these other criminals by not holding them accountable, because they're paying attention too. They're saying, oh, so we don't have to listen to the police. The only thing we got to do is act as if they're victimizing us. Okay, got it. That's a nice play. Thank you so much, Al Sharpton. I appreciate it, buddy. You know, and people are running with this. It's irresponsible. So when Al Sharpton brings it up, it just shows me that he's cut off his brain. Pow. He's cut it off. He's like, I'm trying to tear this young, I'm going to destroy this young man, Byron Donalds, that's sitting across from me right now. But you're not. Talking about, yeah, they need to keep the knee off the neck. That's some barbershop talk right there, man. There's a lot more that goes into this. It really is.
With all the millions of encounters they go through every single year, people aren't going to do that. That's not my words. That's the words of officers I talk to.
Maybe if they knew they were liable, they would behave differently. The vast
majority of officers do not do that. The vast majority of officers are good public servants. They serve our communities every single day. You know this, Al.
The vast majority of people, Congressman, don't commit crimes, but that doesn't mean we don't need laws. Let me go to this one.
But qualified immunity is a bad solution. It would not have been good. It would.
Hey, thank you so much for the super chats, guys. I appreciate it.
Not been good.
And Donald Trump opposed it and did not come with any police reform at all. Marjorie Taylor Greene, let's go
Tim
to
Scott
her.
had a bill that
what police reform
Tim Scott
bill
had a bill that Donald Trump supported.
What
go back
was
to
the police reform
which
bill?
was moving through the Senate. Nancy Pelosi wouldn't hear it in the House.
What was the police reform bill that happened during George Floyd that Donald Trump, as president of the United States, when George Floyd was killed, what did he support for police reform? Donald Trump.
At the time, Donald Trump was supporting the Tim Scott measure that could not get a hearing in the House because Nancy Pelosi wouldn't allow it. You can have Senator Scott on. He'll tell you about it. I'm quite sure he will.
I met with Senator Scott. And what I'm saying to you is, did Donald Trump then say, we'll do this about police reform? This is wrong what happened to George Floyd?
Nancy would not let it through the House. She was Speaker. She asked Nancy why she didn't put it on the floor.
No, I'm asking you then, what was the Republican bill around reform? A man was killed. He was president.
It was the Tim Scott. I just told you the bill. It's the Tim Scott bill. And
when
you
Donald
keep asking
Trump
the same
went
question,
in front of that church.
Let me tell y'all something, bro. I'm gonna tell you this right now. They talking about police reform. Police reform would not have saved George Floyd's life. His community would have. Police reform would not have saved George Floyd's life. These black politicians could have. These black preachers could have. They could have. They could have. I've seen the entire video, bro, and it's unfortunate that he had to lose his life like that. But there's coincidence. There's what's the word I'm looking for? There's no way that I can commit a crime, right? And then the police show up, and then I resist so much that now I have to be held on the ground by all these people. Here I am, 6'4" or whatever it is. I think he was a big dude, like 6'3", 6'4", a real big guy. And it was only off of a fake $20 bill. It was over a fake $20 bill. Police come. He don't want to get out the car. He claiming that he's claustrophobic. Whereas he drove over there. He's in the car with the guy that he just now purchased drugs from, who wasn't acting like that. That dude was chill as a fan. That dude was, what happened to the guy that sold him drugs that was in the car with him at the time? I'm going to tell you what happened. He's still living. He's still breathing. And he's probably still free. He's probably still free. But George Floyd, no. I can't get in the car. I'm claustrophobic. I can't put on these cuffs. I'm claustrophobic. I can't breathe. You're killing me. Now, should that dumbass police officer put his knee on his neck and just sit there like, I'm just waiting. I'm just going to go ahead and sit here. He's not going to move. No, that was dumb. That was dumb. But at the end of the day, come on, bro. Who's holding him accountable for his points, his part in this? Like, at some point, we got to hold one another accountable and not blame one another, not say, you deserve this. No, I'm not saying that George Floyd deserved this. Nobody deserves to die. Well, that's not, maybe. I could take that back. I don't know if anybody deserved to die. That's not for me to say. But for George Floyd, the Black community let him down by not holding him accountable, because we build up more George Floyds by doing that. As a matter of fact, communities were tore down because of George Floyd. It wasn't deserving of that. It wasn't. I'm sorry, George Floyd was not worth communities being tore down. He was held up as a hero. Why? What has he done to be held up as a hero? He did nothing for his community. I'm just saying, that's just keeping it a buck. So if you want for the president of the United States to be like, you know what, he is real important and I do need to pass a bill just for him, how asinine is that? Come on, Al Sharpton, Mr. Al Sharpton, you've been in this business for a long, long, long time. And some might say that you are one of the biggest race hustlers, you know, fattening your pockets for decades, bro, off the backs of Black people. So when this situation comes up, your voice is extremely important. And if you're going to just say the same talking points of everybody else who's not willing to think about what's really going on and actually come up with a solution, then bro, you're part of the problem. You are part of the problem. And that's why this young guy is on your panel whooping your ass, because intellectually you don't match with him and you haven't been trying to for a while. You got your connections, you got your money, you're comfortable in your position, you're well respected in your community, and that's all you need. And that's the problem with a lot of Black preachers too. Not Black preachers. That's the problem with a lot of preachers, period. They get the love of the people on their side and everything else just out the window. Whatever happened to putting God first? Because last I checked, when you was first introduced to us all, you were Reverend Al Sharpton. So, yeah, that's my 2 pennies.
On reform. The man was killed. He was president.
It was the Tim Scott. I just told you the bill. It's the Tim Scott bill. And
when Donald Trump went in front of that church and stood up there with the Bible, he did not tout any reform bill at all. End of story. And you and I both know that.
I'm sorry. So the only bills that matter, the only bills that matter are the ones that actually have a name that a president cites, not the actual legislation that's moving through Congress.
He could have named the bill. He was president of the United States.
You already know that's a ridiculous standard.
Well, then why didn't that's a ridiculous standard. If Tim Scott's was the bill, then why didn't the president come out and call on the Congress and the country to rally around that bill? He said nothing. You know it, and I know it.
First of all, I don't know. Donald Trump talks a lot. You should ask him that question. I will tell you that Nancy Pelosi did not let that bill come up in the House. She was Speaker. Ask her.
That's a great point. She was Speaker at the time. Ask her. Ask her what happened. She was definitely Speaker at the time. Ask her what happened. Now, we just now saw Al Sharpton having a conversation with Byron Donalds. He saw that he couldn't beat him off of merit. He saw that he couldn't win in the conversation about the whole Jim Crow thing. Then why did you say it? 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 That's all he did for what? For 5, 6, 7 minutes. Then why did you say it? Huh? Then why did you say it? Then why did you say it? That's all he did. And then when he couldn't win, let's talk about Donald Trump since you support Donald Trump. How come he don't like Black people? Huh? How come he don't like Black people? How come when George Floyd died, he ain't do nothing about the police? Huh? Oh, so you said it's Nancy Pelosi fault? Then how come Donald Trump ain't tell Nancy Pelosi to kick rocks with her socks? Huh? How come Donald Trump ain't slapped somebody in the mouth like I would have did? Huh? Byron Donalds whooped Al Sharpton's ass. And any Black person that says otherwise, you're lying, bro. You're lying. Now, I have to play this right here, guys, because this right here is, and I want to say, the people that I'm posting, I'm gonna let you know this right now. I don't have any beef with them, issue with them at all. I don't have any no issues with Al Sharpton. I tell you, I used to look up to Al Sharpton, you know, as the guy that's on the front lines fight, just so you get a better idea of who I am and who I support. I'm from Southeast Washington, D.C., and my most favorite politician of all times is Mayor Marion Barry, the mayor of Washington, D.C. back in the day. I don't know if you ever heard of the story of Mayor Marion Barry, but it's in the end of it was kind of similar to Hunter Biden. where he was caught in a hotel with a woman smoking crack, and they were supposed to be doing some things. And then he said, man, that B set me up. And the police came and they locked him up, and they had him in his handcuffs, and they was getting him up out of there, and he was leaving and everything. So that's the era I come from. But I want y'all to see this right here. This is how Roland Martin looks at Byron Donalds. This is how Joy Reid looks at Byron Donalds. This is how Al Sharpton and the whole Black African diaspora is looking at Byron Donalds for what he said. And now he's going on all these shows like, yo, let me tell y'all something. And this is what I respect about Byron. This is the reason why I'm checking out these videos. This is the reason why I respect Byron so much when it comes to this. Do I think he should have said anything about Jim Crow? No, I don't. I think I wouldn't even mention Jim Crow, but that's just me. But Byron Donalds is not going on no apology tour, and they're pissed. He's not going on no apology tour. He can care less about apologizing to anybody. He was like, yo, I'm going to come to you. I heard you had something to say to me, Al. Go ahead and say it. Because guess what? All of y'all are lying. I did not say that. This is what I said. And I'm going to keep saying it until y'all hear it. Because basically, y'all done already decided what I was trying to say. So what's the point of me apologizing? So no, I'm not on no apology tour. I'm going on all of the Black shows who are against me. And I'm going to let them know that they need to kick rocks in their socks. Because I ain't apologizing. I said what I said. Who going to check me, boo? So that's what I love about this whole Byron Donald thing, man, because he's not apologizing to anybody. So let me go ahead and check this joint out, man. This right here is from Roland Martin. Shout out to Roland Martin. I ain't trying to start no smoke. I don't want no smoke with Roland Martin. But I'm just letting y'all know. I'm just speaking the truth. It just is what it is. And the boy Byron Donalds is whooping all y'all ass.
They talking to her because she ain't Black. And so she's absolutely been a hardcore MAGA since leaving the sidelines. And so Byron, so I'm going to read the tweet he posted. This, y'all going to love this here because like Derek Johnson of the NAACP criticized him and so many others. He tweeted this: Joe Biden, Representative Jeffries, Jamie Harrison, Derek NAACP are gaslighting Black America. I was talking about Black families, conservative mindsets, and conservative voting. Receipts are a beautiful thing, and don't clip my words to keep lying. I'm watching. Okay, Byron, you watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network? So we're going to play your comments. Go.
I grew up with my mom. My dad and my mom, things didn't work out. As an adult, I look at my father and I say, bro, I don't know what happened.
Okay, so check this out. I love conversations like this. All right, so somebody said, Van, stop it pandering too much. I would drop my link below. You can pull up, tell me how much I'm pandering. Feel free to cam up. You cut on your camera. You can keep your camera off. It's completely up to you. I don't pander, bro. I have serious conversations. I can care less about appeasing any side, but I do love the smoke. And I would love for you to pull up. Just let me know. Put your thumb up and I would drop the link and you can pull up. And that's for anybody else who want to check me. I don't mind being checked. I'm not a politician. I'm not trying to win no votes. But I do love when people point me out and say, Van, you're pandering. You're dancing for nickels. You're doing a huckabuck. Please pull up. Please pull up. Destroy me. Huh? No Diddy. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, you my father and I love you. Wow. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. Wow. But I'm going to tell you this. Growing up, the one thing I knew I wanted to do, and this is not about my father, this is about what I wanted to do, is I wanted to be a father to myself. Wow. And so one of the things that's actually happening in our culture, which you're now starting to see in our politics, is the reinvigoration of Black families with younger Black men and Black women. And that is also helping to breed the revival of a Black middle class in America. You see, during Jim Crow, the Black family was together. That's right. During Jim Crow, more Black people were not just conservative, because Black people always have been conservative minded, but more Black people voted conservatively. And then H.E.W., Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are. What's happened in America the last 10 years, and I say it because it's my contemporaries, it's Wesley's contemporaries, you're starting to see more black people be married in homes, raising kids. It's when you home with your wife raising your kids, and then you look at the world, you're saying, now wait a minute, time out. This does not look right. How can I get something to my kids? It goes back to the conversation of generational wealth. Not just having a job, generational wealth. I'm looking at my kids. How can my kids be on my shoulders when they take off in life? That's what's happening.
Now, here's the thing that pisses me off, man. Here's the thing that pisses me off. White people, you can put on your headphone, you can put on your earmuffs for this one. This is only for the black people. This right here is for the black people. Black people, how can we be pissed off at anybody who, hello? What was that? I saw a blackout. Hold on one second. Let me make sure we good. Let me make sure we good on this side. All right. Looks like we're good. I think I cut out for a minute. All right. So here's my thing. How can we be pissed off at what Byron Donalds was saying? Byron Donalds wants to see black families. He wants to see black love. He wants to see us preparing our children and showing them what it's like to have a mom and a dad in the household who can support them throughout anything. Why are all of these black leaders coming at him with so much vitriol when there's no other black leaders saying what Byron Donalds is saying? This dude is in front of people saying, yo, we got to do better in our households. We got to put God first again. We got to put our families first again. And then they're so pissed off at a guy that's running for president who wants to put our country first above all other countries. Do y'all think Korea is putting China before anybody or putting America before anybody? Do you think China is putting other countries before China? Do you think Russia is putting other countries before Russia? Do you think any other country is putting other countries before them? No, they are not. So Byron Donalds is trying to put out a message that anybody can grasp, that anybody can take. This is not about pandering. So even when people say silly stuff like that, bro, you're pandering. Kiss my black ass, okay? And I mean that respectfully. No diddy. Honestly, I mean that respectfully. How can you mean that respectfully, you said? Because honestly, I'm like this. I'm all for God and family. That's what I'm all for. And I just now started wanting the whole country to win. And now I'm pandering. Wow. Let's get into it. Watch all this negativity that comes from all the positivity that Byron Donalds just now said.
So,
Y'all see this long pregnant pause like, I'm so pissed off. Did he really say Jim Crow? They missed the entire message. Yo, how y'all missed the entire message?
So Byron Donalds, we're seeing a resurgence, a reinvigoration. Okay, I'm going to get to that in a second. Let me first deal with that. First of all, why are you invoking Jim Crow? Now, if you wanted to say in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, it was this, you could have said that. You invoked Jim Crow. You, Byron Donalds, gave the impression, you implied, so therefore we inferred that you were saying things were better for the black family during Jim Crow. That's on your ass. Now you can't sit here and get pissed off at people because of your choice of words. That's on you. That ain't on us. You didn't have to invoke Jim Crow. And what you then try to imply is that, oh, things for the black family were stronger during Jim Crow, but then when these liberals came in with these laws that ended Jim Crow, things got worse. That's literally what you were implying. You can't sit here and try to dance around it, because that might work for them other people, but that don't work for me.
Just so you know, the other people are the white people. That's who Roland Martin's talking about. He's talking about the white people. Specifically, the conservative whites. Oh, and the conservative blacks. Shout out to you all, too. All right.
That's what you did, Byron Donalds. So that's on you. But then Byron Donalds went on to talk about, oh, we're seeing a reinvigoration, marriage and children. Okay. Anthony, go to my iPad. United States Census Bureau. Marriage prevalence for black adults varies by state. District of Columbia had the lowest percentage of married black adults 2015-2019. In this article, written by Chanel Washington, Lakita Walker, it said U.S. marriage rates have been on the decline since the latter half of the 20th century, and both men and women are marrying at a later age, but the decline and delay are even more dramatic among black adults. The median age at first marriage has risen for both men and women. In 1970, the median age at first marriage was 23.2 years for men, 20.8 years for women. 50 years later, those figures climbed to 30.5 years and 20.81 years, respectively. Although there have been drastic changes in marriage patterns for all race and Hispanic origin groups, differences have been especially pronounced for non-Hispanic black adults. 1970, 35.6% of black men and 27.7% of black women were never married. But by 2020, these percentages had jumped to 51.4% for black men and 47.5% for black women. While the percentage of all adults.
So what Roland Martin is doing, which is unsettling to me, is he missed the point exactly. He missed the point overall. Something that people fail to realize is that there's a certain set of principles that come with being a Christian, being someone who loves God or even considers God's love. All right. And I'm not trying to have no Christian show or nothing like that, but it is Sunday. So let's just talk about this one point just for a moment. All right. So there's a certain set of principles that come with being a Christian. One of those principles is a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. Raise your child up in the way they should go. Those principles are in the Bible, along with business, love, care, defending yourself, all of those things. All of those things, planting seeds in life, watering it, watching it grow, blessing other people. Principles. Byron Donalds would love for the country to adapt those principles again so that we can be far greater than we are right now, because we've come so far away from those principles. And because we've come so far away from those principles, people don't care about marriage anymore. They're all for self. They're very selfish. People don't care about having families and raising up families anymore. They're selfish. They're all over the place. They don't care about that. Byron Donalds would like for there to be a time again where we actually give a damn about the principles that come from the Word of God. Not so everybody can be walking sheep like, praise God, I'm so quiet, I'm not involved in life, I'm just focused on the Lord and that's it. You know, that's not what he's saying at all. He's saying that we would be far better off if we adopt them principles again. And at one point, we had those principles. Did we have those principles because we were afraid of what was going on around us? Did we have those principles because life was just so dark and we knew so many people who have fallen to the hands of the demonic individuals who ran the world at that time, who ran the country at that time? He's not saying let's go back to those times where it was so great and bubbly. He's not saying that. He's saying the principles that we had in those times, probably from necessity. We probably had those principles from necessity. He's saying we need to adopt those principles now. We need to get back to what's important to us. And he's saying we're starting to see an invigoration. Like we're starting to see families are moving in that direction again, which is good. But that's what we need more of. Because if we had more of that, then we wouldn't have so many George Floyd situations going on. You hear me? We wouldn't have so many situations where, you know, you got men using women bathrooms now and exposing themselves to women and children in these restrooms. And it being supported by 1/2 of our country. These things are not principled. They don't protect our children. He's saying, can we get back to these principles? But unfortunately, the left have a job to do. They are to debunk every single thing that comes from anyone's mouth that's from the right, regardless how good it is, regardless of how many problems it might solve. And that's the issue. So Roland Martin took this as an opportunity to start looking up all of these marital rates and where we are as a community and all this other stuff. That's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. But Roland Martin, just like everybody else, they are running out of talking points. So because they run out of talking points, we got to point out these things that make absolutely no sense. We're going to go to a conversation that he had with Joy Reid. Joy Reid, Phil, you know, she sometimes bothers me. She sometimes bothers me. But at the end of the day, I'm be honest with you. Let me go ahead and find this bad boy because I was just now looking at it and I want y'all to see it. We already seen the conversation he had with Abby. We seen the conversation that he had with Al Sharpton. I want y'all to see the conversation that he has with Joy Reid and see if she picks up on any of the positive stuff that he was trying to talk about. And hold on one second. Byron Donalds. This is fun. Again, guys, thank you so much for click and play and joining me today. I really appreciate it. I really do. And the only price of admission for our live streams, I say it all the time, is to simply hit that like button. And if you're feeling extremely generous, hit the share button and share this on X or Facebook. And I do want to say special thanks goes out to all of my blues, all of my moderators. Special thanks goes out to my Twitch people. Shout out to all of my Twitch folk. Shout out to everyone who's communicating respectfully to one another inside of the comment section. And shout out to everyone who's destroying the trolls inside of the comment section. I mean, I love the trolls, but I also love when y'all get destroyed in the comment section. I'm just going to let you know that. All right, so here's Joy Reid's conversation. Let's go.
Some recent comments by Florida Congressman Byron Donalds have been condemned by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, the Congressional Black Caucus, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, Jamie Harrison, and the president of the NAACP, Derek Johnson, just to name a few. In those comments at an event designed to help Republican outreach to black voters in Philadelphia earlier this week, Congressman Donalds made what certainly seemed like positive comments about the Jim Crow era. And he claims his critics are missing the context of what he said. So here's the context.
I grew up with my mom. My dad and my mom, things didn't work out. As an adult, I look at my father and I say, bro, I don't know what happened, but you my father and I love you. Wow. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. Wow. But I'm going to tell you this. Growing up, the one thing I knew I wanted to do, and this is not about my father, this is about what I wanted to do, is I wanted to be a father to myself. Wow. And so one of the things that's actually happening in our culture, which you're now starting to see in our politics, is the reinvigoration of black families with younger black men and black women. And that is also helping to breed the revival of a black middle class in America. You see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's right. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then H.E.W., Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are. What's happened in America the last 10 years, and I say it because it's my contemporaries as Wesley's contemporaries, you're starting to see more black people be married in homes, raising kids. It's when you home with your wife raising your kids, and then you look at the world, you're saying, now wait a minute, time out. This does not look right. How can I get something to my kids? It goes back to the conversation of generational wealth. Not just having a job, generational wealth.
I am joined now by Florida Republican Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, thank you for being here. We played that lengthy segment. That is what you posted on your social media. The part of what you said that people take issue with is this line, which I'm going to read back to you again. You see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative. Black people have always been conservative minded, but black people voted conservatively. But it is that during Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's what people have taken issue with. What are they missing?
Now, before he answers, I just want to say this again. One thing that I'm loving right now about this whole situation, and I'm glad that he's, I probably wouldn't have said Jim Crow, but I'm glad that he did, because it sparked these conversations that's coming from the left, specifically Black African diaspora, specifically Roland Martin, Hakeem Jeffries, Abby from CNN, Joy Reid. All these people are thinking that they're destroying Byron Donalds for saying the most coonish thing, the most tap dances thing. Jim Crow was amazing. That's not what he said at all. But I'm loving this because he's not on no apology tour. He can care less about apologizing to these folk. He's on a set you straight tour. Okay, were you listening to what I said? This is what I said. All right? All right? Now shut up and go fix me a sandwich. I said, go fix me a sandwich, woman. Okay.
Frankly, what's really happened is that you have, Democrats, and you have the Biden campaign, and some of the media want to twist my words for political purposes. The overarching issue is talking just about Black families and why you're seeing a trend of Black people leaning towards Republicans in this election cycle and probably in election cycles to come. And part of that, is that when you're raising families, raising kids, et cetera, you're now thinking about all of the public policy issues, all of the economic issues, all of the education issues. And that's leading people to have divergence in political thoughts. That was the only point. The stuff that comes up about Jim Crow and twisting my words, saying I was being nostalgic or saying that Jim Crow was good for Black people, that's all political spin. It's a lie. It's gaslighting. And that's truly unfortunate.
So here's the challenge, Congressman. You started out talking about your family, talking about your mom, talking about being raised, and you on your own brought up Jim Crow. In fact, you said Jim Crow 3 times for emphasis. It wasn't the media.
Al Sharpton said he said it 4 times. What did he say? Did he say it 3 times or 4 times? In the Black meeting, in the Black email, what did they say? Did they say he said it 4 or 5 times or 3 times? Did he say it 22 times?
Or the Democrats or gaslighters who brought up Jim Crow? It was you. You brought up Jim Crow. So why did you use Jim Crow specifically as your reference? You did that. No one else did that. You did it.
Oh, I did. We were having a conversation, just talking as, Black people in Philadelphia. But if you're going to use the chronological timeline of America before the Great Society and Lyndon Johnson's time period, you had, unfortunately, the Jim Crow era in America. During that time period, the marriage rates of Black Americans was significantly higher than any other time since then in American history. So it is a divergence if you're talking about marriage rates in the Black community. They have plummeted. And what we've seen recently in America, which is a very good thing we should all celebrate, is that the marriage rates in the Black community are rising again. That's good for Black families. That's definitely good for Black children. It's something I want to see. I'm quite sure you want to see it as well.
Okay, let's talk about that. Jim Crow lasted roughly from 1867 after the Civil War to 1968. Is there a specific period between 1867 and 1968 that you thought was this golden era for Black families, or a time that was good for Black families?
You see how she tried to say that? Was there a specific time that you thought was a golden era for Black families? Joy. Sweet Joy. And honestly, I say your name like that because my wife's name is Joy. And I don't want you to ruin that for me. All right. You're not going to ruin that for me. All right. And I like your Beatles wig. So is that a Trump wig or Beatles wig? Either way, I think you're a beautiful Black woman. All right. Hey, don't say nothing against that in my comments. I already know a lot of you going to be like, okay, I got to unsubscribe because Joy Reid beautiful. Listen, I'm a man of peace, but I find it kind of odd that y'all continue to miss his point. Anything positive that he said, it's that point, that everything he said was extremely positive, and they're completely missing it because he brought up and he referenced Jim Crow. It's like, oh, that's irresponsible. He's trying to make the Black boys and girls think that Jim Crow was a great time. He's trying to let the white people think that Jim Crow was appreciated and we loved it because it turned us into great family people. Thanks a lot, Byron Donalds. You messed up, brother. You done sit us back 400 years again. Just ridiculous, man.
Joy, I never said that. And see, this is where the gaslighting comes in.
I'm going to read what you said.
All I was talking about was the marriage rates.
Stop. No,
Joy,
that's not what you said. Let's play what you said. Play what he said.
Hold on. Time out. So the question, listen to the question and listen to the answer. Listen to the question and listen to the answer. So when he says that's not what I said and he's about to explain to her what he said, she's like, nope. Play the answer. Play what he said. No, shut up. Play what he said. I said, shut your ass up. Play what he said. I said, shut your Black ass up. Play what he said. Hurry up and play what he said before he say something to destroy me. We need to have a clip of me destroying him, not him destroying me. Play what he said. Hurry up and play what he said. Producer, somebody fire the producer. They ain't playing what he said. Come on, Joy.
I want to see. I'm quite sure you want to see it as well.
Okay, let's talk about that. Jim Crow lasted roughly from 1867 after the Civil War to 1968. Is there a specific period between 1867 and 1968 that you thought was this golden era for Black families, or a time that was good for Black families?
Is there a specific time between 1867 and 1968 that you thought was this golden era for Black families? Did he say between 1867 and 1968, it was a golden era for Black families? You cannot ask that question and want an answer only to that question if he never said that. What am I missing? I'm losing my mind, bro. I'm losing my mind, man. I need to listen to some Linkin Park. I'm losing my mind. Okay, here we go.
Joy, I never said that. And see, this is where the gaslighting comes in.
I'm going to read what you said.
All I was talking about was the marriage rates.
Stop. No,
Joy,
that's not what you said. Let's play what you said.
Play
what he said. Play what he said.
Families. You're saying I said it was the golden era. I never said that.
I'm going to play what you said.
I said that it was better for Black families. I never said that. I
play what he said.
Play what I said.
Play what he said.
During Jim Crow, the Black family was together.
That's right.
During Jim Crow, more Black people were not just conservative, because Black people always have been conservative-minded, but more Black people voted conservatively. And then H.E.W., Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are.
Okay, so now I'm going to go back. You said during Jim Crow, the Black family was together. What was the authority of the Black father in the Black family during Jim Crow?
So this is a spin right here. What they're saying is, okay, you're saying that it was such a better time. Let me tell you something. Black men didn't have any power. black men didn't have any power. So you're saying this was a great time, but black men didn't have any power. That's not what he was saying, young lady. That's not what he was saying. Y'all want to know something? A big reason why they disrespect him so much is because he's married to a white woman. And they hate that. Just saying. Just saying. And thank you, everyone, for the super chats. I've greatly appreciated. Thank you, everyone who are here right now. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Share this bad boy on X or Facebook if you haven't already. That would be absolutely phenomenal. But everyone who have gone as far as digging into your purse and sending me a couple dollars for some lunch or for some new tires on my truck, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let's go.
Well, listen, under Jim Crow, obviously, Black people were under great persecution, unfortunately, by Southern Democrats and the Democrat Party overall in the history of our country. That's the fact. And so, well, let me finish now, Joy. And so having the Black man in the home was about first protecting the mom and protecting the kids. Incredibly important. It was the leadership in the home, which is incredibly valuable. And I think what we're witnessing, obviously, the last 30 years, definitely through my generation, is Black fathers being at home is incredibly important for the success of Black children going forward. And it's not just a Black thing, that's everybody. Fathers in home help to breed success for kids moving forward. That is a great thing for our country. That's something that has been proven throughout time. So what I'm talking about is not the golden era of Jim Crow. That's ridiculous. I would never say that. And that is the gaslighting that I'm standing up to, because that's what Hakeem Jeffries, the Biden campaign, Jamie Harrison and the like are trying to bring up. And unfortunately, the media has followed suit with misleading headlines, and that's wrong.
Now I'm going to talk. Do I have a chance? Good. Now, you talked about the Black father being in the family, being able to protect the family. First, I want to read, just for our audience, the definition of Jim Crow, just so we all know what we're talking about. Jim Crow laws were a collection of state and local statutes that legalized racial segregation. They existed essentially from the post-Civil War era. They were meant to marginalize African Americans by denying them the right to vote, hold jobs, get an education, and other opportunities. Those who attempted to defy Jim Crow laws often faced arrest, fines, jail sentences, violence, and death. Now I want to talk about something that happened during this era. You said that what you were talking about was the presence of the Black father in the home to protect his wife and family. In 1943, in the state that you represent, in Florida, a young man named Willie James Howard, who was 15 years old, was lynched. During Christmas of 1943, Willie Howard sent cards to all of his coworkers at the Van Priest dime store in Live Oak, Florida. Unlike the other cards, Willie's card to Cynthia Goff, a white store employee, revealed a youthful crush. His greeting expressed hope that white people would someday like Black people and concluded, "I love your name, I love your voice. For SH, sweetheart, you are my choice." After reading the card, Cynthia's father, Phil Goff, brought two friends to the Howard home and demanded to see Willie. Despite his mother's pleading, the men dragged Willie away and then kidnapped Willie's father, James Howard, from work. The men drove the two Howards, to the embankment of the Suwannee River, bound Willie's hands and feet, stood him at the edge of the water, and told him to either jump or be shot. Willie jumped into the cold water below and drowned while his father was forced to watch at gunpoint. Willie's dead body was pulled from the river the next day. You said that during the Jim Crow era, the importance of having a Black man in the home was to protect his family and to protect his wife. I actually spoke with somebody who lived through Jim Crow. Her name is Merle Evers Williams. And Merle quoted to me a man named Charles Silberman, who wrote in Crisis in Black and White, that in 1890, the year that the Mississippi Constitution was written, the policy of crushing out the manhood of the Negro citizens was to be carried out with success. So the man in the home during Jim Crow had no rights, could not protect his wife from rape, could not protect his son from lynching. So again, why would you quote that era and say that at that time, the family all being in the home together was something we should think of as a good thing?
Now, what she decided to do is point out a couple of dark examples of why Jim Crow, the times of Jim Crow, was horrendous. So that will be the same as me saying God is good all the time, and all the time God is good, which I actually believe. But then somebody's saying, what do you mean God is good? People are being trafficked. Kids are being taken and abused. There's one story of a man who was removed from his household and taken down to the back of Anacostia Park and raped and shot and dragged into the river and all this. We're pointing out all this negative. We do realize that those times had those type of situations happening, just like these times have extremely bad things happening as well. But we're not allowing people, just the same way that Democrats won't allow anyone to judge them based off of how bad blue states are doing. We won't allow anybody to judge all of blue states and blue cities based off of the crimes and whatnot, or Joe Biden's lack of action in those places, or the governors and the mayors in those cities doing what they have to do to make things better. We won't allow people to do that. But for Jim Crow, let me tell you why Jim Crow was not a time that you want to reference. Because one time a man was writing a letter to all of his coworkers, and he said that he had a crush on a white lady, and then they came back to his house and they got his son and they killed him in front of him. And that there should show you that's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. This just shows that they're not paying attention, that they're trying to drive a point home that this guy who's a potential Donald Trump VP, a potential future president of this United States of America, we're trying to make him look as bad as possible, not realizing that this brother, he's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. And that's why he's not on an apology tour. That's why he's on a, man, I'm about to set these people straight tour. He's on a set them straight tour. That's the name of this, set straight tour. Set a nigga straight tour. SANTT. Set a nigga straight tour. That's what he on. I'm going to go to every that claim that I'm being a daggone bootlicking dancer for nickels, Uncle Tom, because I said what I said, and I'm going to let them know that y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about. Y'all not making this man sweat. Y'all not making him raise his voice. Y'all not worrying him at all. Y'all can say whatever you want to say, but this dude is cool, calm, and collective. And I would tell my children to be more like him than to be more like Joy Reid. That's just my thing. I would tell my children to be more like him than Al Sharpton. That's just me. And Roland Martin. Just saying.
Well, first of all, Joy, the story you bring up and you're bringing up is a tragedy, one of the great tragedies of the Jim Crow era. This is why those policies were they were disgusting and distasteful. All I was talking about, Joy,
was the benefit of a man in the family. Again, sir, I'm sorry, I let you talk for a long time. Sorry, I only no. Talk over you. You've gotten a chance to.
Lady, didn't she ask him a question? And then when she was saying, "Wait, can I speak? Can I talk?" And then she went and read a damn article. She read a book for 3 minutes, and he ain't say nothing. He just waited. And then she asked him a question, as she should have. And he answered, thinking that she was going to allow him to answer. Why did he think that she was going to allow him to answer?
All I was talking about, Joy,
was the benefit of a man in the family. Again, sir, I'm sorry.
Joy,
I let you
what was the benefit of a man in the family? Did she just say that? Are you kidding me? Yo, did she just now say what was the benefit of a man in the family? I really need y'all to understand what she just now said, man. If we're all dealing with racist white people, what's the benefit of having a man in the family anyway? And that's what started it. A lot of black women, no, a lot of women nowadays are being trained up to think, what's the benefit of having a man in the family? That right there is far more detrimental than referencing Jim Crow. That's just me. Van, you're going over the top. Van, you're doing too much. Van, she didn't mean it that way. No, I mean what I just now said. Ain't no way in the world you should form your damn mouth to say, what's the benefit of a man in a family back then? Are you out your damn mind? There's always a benefit of having a man in the family, the same way as always a benefit of having a woman in the family. We all bring something to the table. There should be if somebody come into my house, I don't care if we're in the Jim Crow era, I don't care if we're in the slavery era, I don't care if we're in today's era. Somebody come into my house and they're trying to do something to my family. I have a decision to make. I stand in front of my family, even if it goes the opposite way. There's a better chance of it going our way if a man is there. Did she just now say that? Did she just now say that, bruh? What was the point? If they just gonna go up in the house and do what they want anyway, what's the point of having a man in the family? Are you kidding me? That's the problem right there. Dumbass. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize, Lord. I apologize. Listen, Father God, in the name of Jesus, you know my heart, Lord. You know my heart. Okay, let's go.
Talking about Joy,
what was the benefit of a man in the family? Again, sir, I'm sorry,
Joy,
I let you talk why you
those policies were they were disgusting and distasteful. All I was talking about, Joy,
was the benefit of a man in the family. Again, sir, I'm sorry, I let you talk for a long time. Sorry, no. Talk over you. You've gotten a chance to speak a lot, Congressman. You're going to answer my question now and not filibuster. This is the question you want. This is the question you need to answer.
That's what I'm trying to answer.
If black men,
that's what I'm trying to answer, Joy.
Give me a second. Take a breath. Take a breath. If a black man could not protect. It's my show.
Oh my God. This old scallywag. Come on, bruh. Somebody. I have an issue with her, man. I promise you. Joy Reid, I promise you, man. Your way of thinking is horrible. It's horrible. You do realize that a man could come to your home right now and beat the hell out of your husband and do whatever he want to do to you, right? But you still have a husband, right? My question to you is why? What's the point of having that husband if a man could still come to your house, beat the brakes off of your husband, and then come in the house and do whatever he want to do to you and your kids? Fear is always going to be imminent. It's going to always be there. The possibility of danger is always there. Always. I promise you, this is dumb as hell. And then let's just talk about professionalism for a minute. You brought this man on your show. You brought this man on your show. You invited him on your show. And 9 times out of 10, the ratings on this show was far bigger than the other videos. I mean, your other ratings. Because your other ratings only come by way of talking sugar, honey, iced tea about Trump. And you know that. But now that I got Byron Donalds on my show, I'm going to destroy him. I'm going to keep my hand out there. That's, whenever you're talking to somebody and they keep their hand out like this, you already know that right there is defense mechanism right there. It's letting them know that I'm in charge. I want you to shut up. Be quiet. That's what that means. Be quiet. Be quiet. I got this. Be quiet. Okay, this is my show. That's first, what's the point of having a man in the house? And this is my show. Be quiet. Man, I promise I feel bad for your husband for real. I feel bad for your husband for real. My gosh.
I'm trying to answer, Joy.
Give me a second. Take a breath. Take a breath. If a black man could not protect, it's my show. If a black man, a black father, could not protect his wife, his son, or himself from lynching and violence, how is him being in the home mean that is an era that was better for the black family? or that we should think of as a good thing?
First,
it's always a good thing. You rat bastard. I'm sorry.
That is an era that was better for the Black family, or that we should think of as a good thing.
First of all, Joy, I never said that it was better for Black people in Jim Crow. I have never said that, and even my own words say that. If you're talking about the importance of Black fathers in the home, or frankly, all fathers in the home, it is always for the betterment of children, to have leadership, yes, for safety. So having two people in the home to help provide the economic needs for those children so the family can succeed. That is a wonderful thing. We should always get back to that, not to Jim Crow.
Thank you. Please say that again. We need to always get back to that. So we have a better chance of succeeding. So we have a better chance of generational wealth. So we have a better chance of extending our tree. I mean, just extending our branches, extending our, like, come on now. Like, you don't understand, lady? I don't get her, bro. I promise you I don't get her. What type of man is teaching her that? Okay, never mind.
Importance of Black fathers in the home, or frankly, all fathers in the home, it is always for the betterment of children, to have leadership, yes, for safety. So having two people in the home to help provide the economic needs for those children so the family can succeed. That is a wonderful thing. We should always get back to that, not to Jim Crow. And this is the point of the gaslighting and the lying that is occurring with what I said. Don't try to impose the fact that the marriage rates were better in the higher, I want to be clear, higher in the Jim Crow era to mean that I think Jim Crow is great. That is a lie. That is gaslighting. I would never say such a thing, which is why the Jim Crow era was destructive of Black people.
You brought it up. You're the one who brought it up.
Oh my gosh, bro. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something, bro. I don't like her, man. I promise you I don't like her. She gets on my damn nerves, bro. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. This is just between us, all right? Don't tell anybody what I just now said, but I don't like her. I don't like her. Any woman that can fix her lips and says, what's the point of having a man in the house? What's the point of having a man? What's the point of having a man in the house? That's that mentality right now that's effing up our society. That's the type of mentality that made him make that statement in the first place. What am I missing, bro? Can somebody tell me what I'm missing? The reason why he made the statement in the first place is because of mentalities like that. People thinking that we don't need men in the house. And we do. Are we going to fail? Yes. Are we going to win? Yes. We're going to do both. Woosah. God dang it. Woosah. All right. Woosah. And then we got one more because Hakeem Jeffries have something to say too. So let's let Hakeem Jeffries get his point off. And guess what? He's talking to a man that's not apologizing, bro. Byron Donalds ain't apologizing to y'all. He's on a nothing. He's on a set it straight tour. That's what he's on. And he's in the business of setting on straight. And I'm with it. I'm with it, bro.
House floor. Let's watch.
The so-called leader has made the factually inaccurate statement that black folks were better off during Jim Crow.
He didn't say that, you black bastard. I'm sorry. I like to take that off the record. Okay? We're going to edit that part out. Okay. All right.
That's an outlandish, outrageous, and out-of-pocket observation. How dare you make such an ignorant observation? You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Did you just now Dawes effects Byron Donalds? Did this dude just now hit Byron Donalds with a Dawes effects verse from back in the 80s? You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Or was that Ice Cube? That was from Ice Cube. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because gunshot wounds is bad for your health. Did you just now threaten to shoot Byron Donalds? Check yourself before you wreck yourself? This dude then went back into his MC Hammer bag. Oh my gracious, why is speaking positively about the family a bad thing? Okay, here's Byron Donald's about to pop back off. Watch this. No diddy.
Congressman Donalds didn't appreciate Jeffrey's characterization of his comments, and he said this in response.
America, Joe Biden's campaign is lying to you once again, and they're gaslighting. Now they're trying to say that I said black people were doing better under Jim Crow. I never said that. They are lying. But why would you be surprised? Because they always lie. This is the same Joe Biden that said, if you don't vote for him, then you ain't black. The man is a liar. Sorry, just call it what it is. What I said is that you had more black families under Jim Crow. And it was the Democrat policies under HEW, under the welfare state, that did help to destroy the black family. That's what I said. And I also said you're seeing a reinvigoration of black families today in America. And that is a good thing. So don't listen to the lies from the Biden administration.
I love that. I love that, bro. I love that. Because this brother he just put it back onto your plate, man. You're going to, we're not going to sit back here and we're not going to go back and forth talking about, how I said something I didn't say simply because you feel like your butt hurt. You know what I mean? No diddy. And if you're into that type of thing, that's cool too. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody who's celebrating this month as Pride Month. Much love to y'all. I ain't got nothing but love for you. Nothing but love for you. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. I keep on saying things that I think it's going to put me in a bad situation. I'm not trying to get canceled for anybody at all. But I love the fact, shout out to John Smith for saying that. I love the fact that he is holding his ground. He's standing on all 10 toes. He's standing 10 toes down on what he said. I'm not walking it back. What I said was what I said. And they have an issue with that. And I have an issue with them. For real, I really do have an issue with them for that. I have an issue with them. Where did the guy go that said I was pandering? Did he ever pull up? Come on, man. Don't say I'm pandering. Don't go to nobody's live stream and say you're pandering, bro. And then when I put it back out there, you're like, oh, nah, I'm gone. Deuces. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say this. Once he saw me on the video and he said, you're pandering, he probably left right after that. Guys, today at 5 p.m. I will be doing a webinar for anyone who wants to learn how to grow on YouTube. I'll simply be just let you know exactly what we do, how I'm helping people. I will give you some numbers to let you know what people have been doing when they've come from 2 subscribers to 150, from 0 subscribers to 29,000, 25,000 in the course of 3 to 4 months. It's going crazy, man. And I really want to help anybody who don't know where to start in your YouTube journey. But what I say is anybody that's above the age of 40 and above, if you're 40 and above, your voice needs to be out there more than these youngins, because these youngins need your guidance. Even if you're telling them how to bake a cake, even if you're telling them how to make some oxtails or some turkey wings or some mac and cheese, or how to change some brakes, or how to change a chain on a bicycle, they don't know how to do this stuff. If you're great at something and you've been good at something for the last 20 years, you've been working at a job for the last 20 years and you've learned some skills from that, you need to be on the camera. You need to be providing some content, because guess what? Your grandkids and your great-grandkids, they will also have footage of you, their grandparents, even after you're gone. And that will be beautiful. And I'm talking about you helping other people, all right? Not you in the house and they just messing with you like, Grandma, wake up, Grandma. Let's put some water on Grandma and run out the room. Nah, it ain't none of that. So anybody that wants to start a YouTube channel or already have a YouTube channel and just don't know how to get it moving, hit me up with the word coach. Everyone else that I've reached out to me in my email with the word coach, who we got? We got Keith. Shout out to Keith. We got Michael Bell. Shout out to Michael. We got Sam. We got Joel. We got James. We got Richard. We got Sharon. We got who else we got? We got Pat. We got Donnie. We got Danny. We got Tanya. We got somebody by the name of Mama. How's your name Mama? Like, that's just her name, just Mama. That's your email address, just Mama. We got Frankie. We got who else? We got Boyce. We got some people who are pulling up with the word coach, and I appreciate it. And I'm going to be sending out a link because tonight I'm going to be doing a private one-on-one, well, a group joint with you all, and pull up. If you have any questions, you can ask me questions at the second half of it, and we can go from there. But that is the live stream for today. Please let me know whatever y'all want me to know in the comments. Much love to you all. All of the information for contacting me for for YouTube coaching is right below. Thank you so much. I had fun with you all. Hopefully I didn't hurt any feelings today, but make sure you reach out to me with the word coach. Okay. All right. Shout out to all my blues. Thank you so much to all of the young ladies and young men who are my moderators. I really appreciate it. Shout out to LV Nation moderators who are helping me out over here in the LFR family. I really appreciate it. You guys are dope. Shout out to my Twitch family. Shout out to my my YouTube family. And much love to you guys for being respectful to one another and for destroying the trolls for me so I not have to. I love y'all for that, man. Y'all are so daggone dope. I look forward to talking to all of the people who want to start a YouTube career. It would be absolutely amazing to talk to you. And I just want you to know this. YouTube has changed my life. YouTube has literally changed my life. There's no one way to do this. All right? You don't have to be super beautiful. Look at me. You don't have to be super funny. Look at me. You know what I mean? You don't have to be white. Look at me. You don't have to be black. You don't have to, this is just so many things that we believe we have to have before we cut that camera on. We do not. All you got to do is have some value, something to add to the table, to bring to the table. And I promise you, I know some things after doing this for years and years and years, and I'm reaching certain milestones, and I am ready to help you out as well. Okay. Much love to you all, and go out there and show some love to Joy Reid for her MAGA wig. You know, since she like to act like the people that's running around with blonde hair don't support Democrats. You know what I mean? She got some MAGA hair. They need to just make wigs great again across her hair. All right. Much love. I'm sorry for making fun of women. Man, listen, I'm not making fun of women. I love women. But y'all are absolutely dope. And shout out to all the men. Y'all are necessary. We are necessary. And we need to make sure we help these youngins out because the generations behind us, but they are lost. They are lost. Oh my God. And they need your guidance. So consider, you know a lot about taxes. You know a lot about running a business. You know a lot about driving and how to speak to police. You know a lot about raising children or being in a relationship, being a husband, being a wife. We need to put this out there. This whole reason for this live stream is because Byron Donalds is trying to get people to get back to those times where having a family was important. You know what I mean? So you can start that off by cutting on a camera and saying having a family is important. Like myself, I've been married for 26 years. Got 4 beautiful, amazing children who are doing great. And it's not by my might or my knowledge. It's somebody prayed for us, had us on their mind, took the time and prayed for me. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed for us. Much love to you all. Love y'all, man. I'll see y'all on the next joint. Peace. And don't forget, hit me up with the word coach so I can send you a link for the webinar later on. See y'all later.